Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. And in our top stories today from page 6, tensions mounting at The View as hosts asked to dial back Trump criticisms, layoffs, morale is low. And as you guys know, as we covered here on the BuzWeaver channel, ABC News and George Stephanopoulos settled out of court with Donald Trump as they insisted and persisted with their exaggerations and sensationalizing that he had committed a particular crime against 𝐀𝐦𝐚𝐬𝐿, which did not happen. And, of course, even some of my leftist classmates insist on repeating it over and over again. And as I always tell them, no matter how many times you say it, it doesn't make it true. The talk show hosts on The View are being pressured to tone down their criticism of President Trump after ABC's last round of layoffs, the Post reported Friday. And, of course, having settled out of court with Donald Trump over defamation. An insider close to Whoopi Goldberg, Joe Behar, Sonny Houston, Sarah Haynes, and Alicia Faith Griffin, and Ana Navarro exclusively told the Post that morale is low as cost-cutting continues. You know, I think people just watch this show to see how outrageous it can be, and it probably has a lot of frenemy watchers and viewers, because how many times have we shared some of the clips from their show across X or from X? So they are getting attention. It may not always be the attention they want, but in media, sometimes it doesn't matter what attention it is as long as you're getting it. Sources also disclosed that the mood on set is growing tense after the show's executive producer, Brian Teta, asked staffers to go easy on Trump-related conversations ahead of the 47th president's inauguration last month. Now, the interesting thing here is I'm sure many of you remember when daytime television was about entertainment, news gossip, or current events, and celebrities and book writing and having cooks on the chefs and others on their shows. You guys all remember that. But now it's become so polarized because of what the establishment has created. And the establishment empowered the left to hijack our culture, our institutions, and our justice system. But it doesn't end there, ladies and gentlemen. From CNN, MSNBC cancels Joy Reid's evening show as part of the major programming shakeup. So Joy Reid is out. She is out of there. Joy Reid will host her final evening news show with MSNBC this week as part of a slate of programming changes by Rebecca Cutler, the network's new president. Sources familiar with the matter told CNN. Sources familiar. Boy, if I had a like and a share for every sources familiar we cover here on the BuzWeaver channel, I can only imagine where we would be right now. So thank you for those likes and shares. According to sources, Cutler plans to replace the ReidOut, which has aired at 7 p.m. Eastern Time since 2020, with co-hosts from The Weeknd, Simone Sanders Townsend, Michael Steele, and Alicia Menendez, all radical activist leftists. We'll get into that here in a second article where I can elaborate a little more and exaggerate and sensationalize. The Weeknd, a 2-hour show airing on Saturday and Sunday morning at 8 a.m., improved total viewership during its time slot by 35%. Okay, that's amazing to me. Now, I wanted to start it off with CNN to see how they were approaching it, and let's see how the Independent's approaching it here. And, of course, they go into who's going to replace them, and which is why I wanted to mention it here. So the final episode of the ReidOut will air this week, and then the new host will be leftist radical strategist Simone Sanders Townsend, former Rhino and establishment asset Michael Steele, and activist journalist Alicia Menendez. So I just wanted to mention that because I know you see the words that are here, but I needed to make sure that it was accurate and correct. So they used certain wording here that isn't very accurate. It's descriptive and it allows for detail, but it doesn't give you the true background. So I just want to make sure I stop by there just to let you guys know that. So from Fox News, now we get a little bit more of a right-leaning edge on this. So, of course, they say conservatives say good riddance to Joy Reid's MSNBC show as liberals slam network shakeup. Now, as a conservative, I wasn't particularly concerned about Joy Reid because I am grateful and glad that fellow Americans could see through the nonsense. That is so critical to me. Because as a commentator, as someone who presents this information, and of course a lot of it is my opinion, of course, so I'm grateful to the Americans that could see through this nonsense, because that's what we try to do here on the BuzWeaver channels. We take the difficult, we take the complicated, we take the tumult, the confusion that is often created by the left on purpose and with intention, and try to break it down into an understandable way, and in a way that is understandable. Former NBC host Keith Olbermann, oh man, talk about a leftist radical that's left that program a long time ago, on social media that the network didn't have a Joy Reid problem. Well, they didn't. They had advertisers concerned about what's going on problem. Conservative commentators said good riddance to Joy Reid's show, the ReidOut, on Sunday. Of course, we know this. Critics pointed to some viral clips of Reid, who made headlines for her attacks against Trump supporters and on the president herself. Now, see, this is the best part about why the media has these people. Now, when I say best part, I'm not saying about best part in general. I'm talking about best part for the media. And that is they let their host and others, journalists and reporters, say things on their own social media as a litmus test to see how people react to it, to see how they can gauge what content they want to say on their network. And if things look like things are going and are popular for that particular individual, then the network may continue pushing it as part of their narrative. So it's all part of the strategy. And here we have TJ Moe. Throwback to when Joy Reid suggested that Trump, involved in a situation there in Pennsylvania, going immediately to the RNC was to be exactly the same as Joe Biden beating COVID and going to the DNC. Unsurprising, her show is canceled, but I don't know what these
question that I have on that. These two men are both elderly. Donald Trump is an elderly man who, for whatever reason, was given 9 seconds to take a iconic photo op during an active shooter situation. Weird situation.
Pretty despicable, isn't it? Because if you think about it, look at Joe Biden. I mean, he's listless. He's just kind of like taking his time. And yes, he is elderly, and we all could see this. Remember, this was the guy that was supposed to be sharp as a tack. And here on the BuzWeaver channel, many of you, of course, supported the channel and the content as we went through explaining all this to people, which I genuinely explained, although maybe some of it may have been quite repetitive. But the thing is that I feel vindicated now, and I hope you guys do too, that we could see the nonsense that was being portrayed by the left, by the Democrats, and by the media. And I couldn't be happier that it worked out the way that it did. Now, I mean no harm towards the Bidens, towards the Democrats, or any of these individual people. I simply want individuals to help our country to succeed and achieve and to accomplish, and us have the ability to express ourselves and explain things about what our perspectives are in relationship to our expectations of our country. So, but when you go on these shows and these platforms and you're propped up by the Establishment Uni-party like The View and stuff, obviously they're trying to send a message that people it doesn't resonate with the people. And, they're on the wrong side of history now, as they used to like to tell us this whole entire time, the last 8 years. Conservatives, the right, and others, we're on the wrong side of history. Well, now they are on the wrong side of history. And it's more than obvious that they are, because, again, as we've mentioned here with the popular vote, it was very, very critical. It was very, very important that Donald Trump win that, because, of course, we don't use the popular vote, but it is a very significant signal to the left, to the Democrats, and to the establishment that their ideology, their philosophy, their worldview is no longer welcome and appreciated. And it's amazing. And we're seeing the turnaround. We're seeing the outrage. We're seeing the changes that are happening, like with Joy Reid, with The View, and what all is going on, just the perspectives and attitudes that people have now. And I couldn't be happier with how things are working out, because it is the way fate is unfolding, and it's not forced, it's not contrived, it's grassroots, it's what people voted for, and we're seeing it happen. And of course, we just heard just yesterday, as of this recording, it's Monday, February the 24th, so Sunday, February the 23rd, that Trump has announced that Dan Bongino will be deputy FBI, will be there as a deputy there with the FBI. And so that's just amazing, absolutely amazing to see what's going on here. But I welcome your thoughts and comments down in the public section below. And to all those watching on TikTok now, yes, that's right, things are still going along there on TikTok. Of course, that's not New Tech, of course, but all of you on New Tech, BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey, I want to thank all you guys for your continued support, and everyone here on YouTube. Your likes, your shares, and your comments are all critically important now because of the way YouTube works, but I do appreciate everything that you guys offer. And then down below here, speaking of offerings, we have the various social media links that I belong to. So if you order frequently from Amazon or a Prime member, you can use my social media link, bookmark that, and use it in the future. It does help out the channel, but of course your likes, your shares, and your comments help out tremendously. And if you're interested about your safety online, then TrustZone VPN is one of my favorites that I use and enjoy it a great deal. Nonetheless, guys, thank you so much for your continued support. And appearing there on the screen, that would be the channel icon for all of you watching on YouTube specifically. You guys can click on that to subscribe as well to select notifications. That way you know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys in the next video.